Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where in today's episode, we're going to take a look at an interview that Harrison Ford gave detailing his account of why he returned for the Rise of Skywalker. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee. The Rise of Skywalker was the last episode in the iconic Skywalker saga. We have finally gotten all 9 episodes. All 9 are now streaming on Disney Plus for those of you who want to binge all of them. But one thing that many fans didn't expect unless you were plugged into channels like this, where you're getting behind, leaks and sourced information about the leaks of Star Wars, where we on this channel had predicted that Harrison Ford would be back for The Rise of Skywalker and in Episode 9. Since before The Last Jedi came out, I've been talking about that. And it did happen, and I think that many just general audience fans were very surprised at that, and they weren't sure as to whether Han was a Force ghost, whether he was a vision, whether he was still alive somehow. But the truth of the matter is that it was just a figment of Kylo Ren's imagination. It was kind of the last straw on him deciding to become Ben Solo again, as this thing that he had done was haunting him to the point that he just couldn't bear it anymore. And how did they get Harrison Ford back is a question that many fans have. And Harrison Ford went on, I think this is the only interview he's actually given about the fact that he's been back in The Rise of Skywalker. I couldn't find anything else. But it's with a late night show, and Harrison Ford talks about this for about a minute and a half on why he came back, and it's essentially because JJ asked him to, and I guess he has a lot of respect for JJ, so let's take a listen to that.
Last time you were here,
it's old news.
Or maybe it was the time before, I don't remember. You were almost pleading with the Star Wars people to kill Han Solo. You had enough of Han Solo. You wanted him dead, and then
you're putting a different complexion on it all. I figured that his utility had been exhausted, bled out, and I was willing to die for the cause.
The cause. Well, I didn't realize it was
to bring some gravitas, some base.
And you did indeed die for the cause. And
I
yet,
did.
Then we go to see the new movie.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah. Like Jesus, Han Solo rose again.
Not like Jesus.
Maybe a little less dramatically than Jesus, and it took more time than it took Jesus, but it's still like Jesus, yes. And how did that happen? Who convinced you to do that? Because I would imagine it would take some convincing.
JJ said, this is a good idea. I, JJ, have decided that this is a good idea. And I would like you to do it.
And you trust him enough that when he says something like that, you're on board?
Don't you?
Well, yes, I do. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. But I'm not Harrison Ford. Quite a distance from it. Yeah.
I'm actually not either.
So whether or not Harrison Ford actually thinks that Han's utility had gone to waste, or the fact that he just didn't want to be known as Han Solo anymore, is irrelevant. If you ask me, I think it's a little bit of both. But regardless of whether or not Harrison Ford wanted to be known as Han Solo or not, at this point, he is. He's always going to be first identified as Han Solo in Indiana Jones. So I don't think anything he does at this point is going to change that, just because of the magnitude of those movies and the power that these hold for literally 4 decades at this point is astounding. And I think the fact that Harrison Ford, still doing movies, I think he's 78 years old, is still doing movies, is just a testament to his work ethic and the fact that he just wants to continue to make movies. So I know a lot of people are like, Harrison Ford's really in it for the money, and unless you give him a really big contract, he's not going to want to do things. But I think the fact that he really does, value these characters that he portrays, and he wants them to be represented well. So I think that had they not brought him back, they probably would have just used the flashback type of thing from The Force Awakens and put him in it either way. but that's just my take. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to subscribe for all the latest Star Wars news and leaks. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and Patreon. And you can also check out the Star Wars Coffee Store. All of those links are in the description. Thank you guys for watching. May God bless you and the Force be with you always. If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe. Do it! And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.